Well, good morning, beautiful people. We're coming to you live from the iconic Gillies, where we're located at the Whiskey Business Room. We come here today, we welcome you to Coffee and Community today. I'm the co-host, Kevin Belcher, and we're glad that you are here because we have great information and great news for you. We have great guests today. I'm gonna let them introduce themselves and the business and what they're gonna be speaking on today. We'll start out with our host and founder, Chris Montoya. And also, don't forget, today is Red, White, and Blue U Job Fair, one of the biggest veteran-based job fairs that we have annually. And it's right down here, downtown on Bolton John at the iconic Gillies. So come on down and find yourself some employment, and then we're going to give you more information about what's happening with our veteran community. And I'll talk to you later about the parades. God bless. Chris?
My name is Chris. I'm with the Heroes Foundation. So first off, I appreciate and thanks the Workforce Solutions for allowing us to be able to film live at the Red, White, and U, one of the best hiring events in the state, year in, year out. The great thing about it is that if employer-wise, they have sold out registration. They aren't taking any more registration for employers. So from anyone seeking employment, it's a great opportunity to meet companies such as Wells Fargo, Crash Champions, City of Dallas, VA, and actually be able to interview. So it's a great opportunity to come on out. They're going to be here till about 2 o'clock. And I'll let Desiree.
Hi, I'm Desiree Bailey, and I'm with the City of Dallas Veterans Treatment Court. And we welcome you guys to come out to the job fair today. And if you're curious if there's anything on your record that you would like to have me look at that could be preventing you from a job, I will be happy to take care of that for you today.
All right, well, good morning, everyone. My name is Laketria Luter, and I am the Director of Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Belonging with Crash Champions Collision. So really excited to be here. I lead all of our military initiatives nationwide.
And I'm David Whitley. I am a business execution consultant with Wells Fargo. I'm part of the military talent events and programs team under the military talent strategic sourcing team. And what that is about 30 plus dedicated members to ensure that we open doors throughout the Wells Fargo enterprise for veterans and military spouses. Super excited to be here at the Red, White, and U. I'm going to give it over to my team.
Okay, good morning. My name is Ramon Reese. I work with the Department of Veteran Affairs. I work with the job programs, and definitely, as my colleagues have said, come out today to ensure you're having opportunities and to talk to employers, to vet your skills and abilities, and that you're able to do that right in front of the hiring personnel. So, out today, and we're going to get move forward in doing that with the panelists. Thank you.
All righty. Well, we're going to have a great time today, and come join us today. I promise you, there's going to be a lot of vendors here, a lot of people looking for people to hire. So you do yourself a favor, pass the word on. Let them know that is here for you. And with that said, we're going to get into one of our first conversations with our first guest this morning. And Laketria will take over from here and give you some great information on what she's doing and the information that she wants.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, your experience. I know you led Service King's mission to hire, had a lot of great that you achieved, hit hiring goals. I think it was a year or two ahead of time.
Yes.
And now with Crash Champions, that correctly.
You got it correct. That's right.
Everything that you're leading to the future.
Absolutely. So, and thank you for that wonderful. So, you may or may not know, but Service King has Crash Champions, and I'm really excited to lead Crash Champions into the next phase of our Mission to Hire initiative. As Chris mentioned, I started the Mission to Hire initiative with Crash Champions back in 2015, and our goal was to hire 500 veterans within 5 years. Well, I'm happy to say we were able to do it in 3 years. And now, a couple years later, we've hired over 1,200 veterans and spouses within our Crash Champions / Service King. So really excited about that. Some of the key things that we focused on is our partnerships with the Heroes Foundation. Actually been in partner with them national virtual hiring events, which were very successful for us. So we encourage well. Some of the other key things that we've been in partnership with is the Department of Labor in regards to having a national certified apprenticeship program. So this allows for veterans and spouses to be able to come to our organization under Crash Champions and learn all the skills and trades you need to be very successful within our company. Also, some of the key things we're involved with is on a community level too, because we know that as we know today is about coffee and community. Part of what we've done is we have a partnership with Care. Give them a shout out as well. But we do that nationwide where we allow for our teammates to get engaged. Remember those that they've lost in battle. Veterans, family members, service members, all those great things. But we do that on an annual basis. So lots of great things that our organization has been able to achieve. And in regards to the future, we are looking at being very strategic as we partner with Student Veterans of America, along with some of the other collegiate organizations, and focusing on their veteran chapters at those schools. So really excited about all that our organization, Crash Champions, is bringing to the table to help veterans have a great way of life within our organization.
And I just want to say real quickly, if you hear any kind of background noise, we are live.
Yes.
We are live.
It's going on. They're getting ready to.
I don't want you to think it's your microphone.
Yeah, they're preparing for that red, white, and you. So
Yes.
You're gonna hear a lot of moving. You're gonna hear some things, but that's all exciting noise. You need to be here and be part of this.
And David, I'm going to
Yeah.
throw it over. I mean,
Okay, I'm happy to talk about it.
I probably know you from Allies in Service, which
Yes.
that's how I first met you. Fantastic work that you've done with Roger Staubach's nonprofit and everything that's led you up to being part of Sean Passmore and Lisa Young's team with Wells Fargo.
Yes. And Chris, I just want to acknowledge my teammates here because when I came to the DFW area in 2012, I really didn't know anyone, and it was people like Lakitria, Chris, Kevin, others that have opened those doors and worked in collaboration to ensure that we're doing the best for veterans. I spent 9 years working for a veteran service organization, helping veterans and military spouses land corporate level employment and working with many companies to help them to either launch or enhance their military hiring initiative. But overall, it was a team effort. I do want to say happy birthday, Marine Corps. And I'd be remiss without saying happy early Veterans Day to our veterans. But we also understand that when the veteran serves, the spouse serves. And I was truly excited. I was a little sad because of the pandemic that the nonprofit that I supported for those 9 years closed in April of 2021. But I was looking for the next opportunity, and Wells Fargo, I'm going to say they're doing it very well. We have a team, as I said before, of 30 plus that are dedicated, but we have some great programs. One of the things I do want to talk about is the military hiring program, because it's really hard for our spouses out here. Sometimes there's gaps in resumes. We know that while they're supporting those in uniform, they have a lot of traveling to do. So our Homefront Heroes Hiring Initiative, that program is amazing, and it opens doors, but it allows for those careers to follow our military spouses. So we're doing that well. We launched that in 2022. I'm excited to see those things. But under our military talent events and programs, team, there's a lot of programs, whether it's apprenticeship for those that are looking to do that. It's a DOL vetted program, just like you see, that allows for people to really get in there in 1 to 2 years and learn a job and have those career pivots. Or whether it's people that are looking to, hey, I'm ready now and I'm looking for a salaried role. You can come in under our internship program that I'm the program manager for, called VET, and be able to hit the mark from that standpoint in 8 weeks. You find out if you're a fit for Wells Fargo. We find out if you're a fit for us, and at the end you roll into a full-time employee role. And then the last thing that I want to talk about before I turn it over to others to talk about their great programs is our Boots to Banking program that helps people to transition, as well as our corporate fellowship that's through the Hiring Our Heroes Foundation for those that are looking for skill bridge. So there's a lot of opportunities, not just with Wells Fargo, but across the board. But I'm excited to see and be part of such a great team of companies that really want to open doors for veterans.
Okay, just a quick question. I know you briefly mentioned Skill Bridge, which is a huge program coming out of the military when you're looking at transitioning into civilian employment.
Right.
What are some of the pathways for veterans who are already out, who are looking for second chance opportunities or entry-level opportunities within Wells Fargo?
And I'm going to talk about the Boots to Banking program because that covers a whole gamut. Initially, it was things like tellers and going into being relationship bankers or customer service representatives. But recently, we also offered a salary piece to the Boots to Banking program. People want to be able to take care of their families, so we want to make sure that they're having competitive compensation, and most of all that they find a way that they can land a career to call home. I'm proud to say that over 50% of veterans that come on to Wells Fargo, even after the military, they stay at least 5 years, and that's a testament to the support that they receive, not just when they start, but across the board. It's veterans helping veterans within the enterprise to open doors for one another and to receive that support and camaraderie that we're so used to seeing in the military.
And can you talk just a little bit about that, because you hit on something that's very huge. They stay for 5 years because it's the statistics are staggering. Their first year of employment with a new company, from a retention aspect. How do y'all do that? How do y'all ensure inclusiveness? How do y'all ensure that they feel part of the culture and not just the check the box hire?
Right. Well, it really is a boots on the ground effort. It sounds cliche-ish, but it really is. Whether it's our employee resource network, some people call them ERGs or business resource groups, but we really want one veteran at a time to connect with one another because, I'm Air Force. I may have something in common with other Air Force people, or it may be regional where I'm doing a job that others from other branches, but we want to make sure that not only do they come in and understand that if you served on Planet Military, there's a place for you, but also to integrate into the culture. We want them to know what we stand for, our values. We champion diversity. That's one of our pillars within Wells Fargo, but we want to let people know that they're welcome and that they bring something. Hiring veterans, it seems like it's patriotic, but it's at the end of the day, it's good business. And that's what we talk to them about. Bring your superpowers in and let's work together to continue to advance the Wells Fargo stagecoach.
And that's huge. So, and I want to bring that to my next question. I hate to monopolize it. I know what we're doing. But to Lakeisha, because when you're talking about making it make sense and ROI, what's in it for the company? Military hiring, military recruiting is always, it's in the best interest that we should be doing it. But at the same time, does it follow the roadmap? And so you have had experience with investors where a company, you're a company, but it has the investment company. So how have you sold the military program, military recruiting, the military budget that you've been able to get approved from Service King to Crash Champions into making a difference to get your 500 hires in 2-3 years?
Yes, absolutely. So definitely started with the free 99. that was the first thing I was on when I took on this challenge.
Love it.
To drive military initiatives with our organization. But to your point, so what I did was I looked at what organizations could we partner with where we would get the most bang for our buck in regards to being able to show that, hey, this really works. And when I was able to do that through working with Chris and some other individuals like Roxanne Griffith with the Department of Labor, I was able to showcase that, hey, by us networking with these individuals, we've been able to hire folks, and guess what? These people are staying longer than our non-veterans, which again draws right back to the bottom line, right? Because every time you hire someone, there's a certain amount of money that's being invested into that individual. And so because we were able to establish such quick relationships, show ROI from the hires that we're getting, and retaining those awesome veterans, our leadership team started to take even more interest. Even to the fact that where our CEO and others within our private equity firm that we're owned by were even more invested in what else can we do. And that's where we started to expand our partnerships, financial dollars into organizations that, again, were providing great talent to us. And I'm really excited about it. Like I said, you can't always start with a huge master list of people that you want to work with. I tell everyone to be very strategic in that. And for you guys that are actually looking for those opportunities, there are some great organizations like the Heroes Foundation, like Hiring Our Heroes, Red, White, and You events. All of these events we've been able to participate in and actually hire folks from. And that's what convinced our leadership team that, hey, we're on the right track. Let's continue to add more dollars into this budget so that way we can continue to drive a great culture thriving with leaders within the military and military spouse space.
That's awesome. So, as you've heard already, how impactful the Heroes Foundation is. If you're a company out there, I would advise you to reach out to Chris. Everybody will be giving their information at the end, but reach out to him. I mean, this man is dedicated to veterans and helping employers to do what they do. Hire veterans. I'm with the City of Dallas. I've been with the City of Dallas for over 15 years, and I'm also the vice president of our Veteran Employee Resource Group. And we have, and I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Because I'm almost ashamed to share our numbers, but I'll put it this way. We currently have over 970 reported veterans that work with the City of Dallas. I'm quite sure it's a lot more.
Sure.
These are the ones that were recognized, but a lot of people don't put it on their application, so we have to continue to drive initiatives to get them to put that information out there so that we can make them accountable.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think that, what prevents a veteran? Because I know a lot of companies, the companies I've consulted at, it's very difficult to find out your employee population of veterans.
Yes.
What have you experienced, or what, because I know you, as a veteran yourself, I think we're all civilians on this side. So, I mean, your expertise, like, what do you think prevents, and then how have you done it to where you've helped kind of help them self-identify, help to kind of get forward?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question, because just this week we sent our email to the masses, and it was on a city announcement for all of those. Matter of fact, the city manager actually sent it out on behalf of Verge as well, as it related to the parade and everything. But in that insert, he inserted in there that anybody working with the City of Dallas, if you're a veteran, here's what you need to do. So we do it through announcements, and we've sent through our Verge organization as well. We're constantly sending information out, trying to get people to come forward and say, hey, look, come join the Verge, our Veteran Employee Resource Group, but also recognize yourself. Go into Workday. We give the steps on what they need to do in order to identify themselves as veterans. And when people first come in, a lot of times initially they don't even be thinking about it. And I know the question has been on the application for years. And me myself, I'm a proud veteran. So anything veteran related, I'm all for it. So that's why I'm here today, because I love being involved. And if you're just joining us, we are downtown at the Red, White, and You hiring event, one of the largest hiring events in the City of Dallas, that annually through Texas Workforce. And also, we're here at Gillies, right off of Bolton John, downtown Dallas. So come on out, get yourself a job, and get a plethora of information that will help you in your future.
Yeah, and Kevin, I'm glad that you asked, and Chris as well, about self-identification. I think that's so important. I think a lot of times for me, we as veterans, we want to go in, do our job, go home, take care of our families, and not really talk about those other things. One of the things that I love about Wells Fargo is we have a program called Show Your Colors. And the reason that it's so important to self-identify is not just about being a statistic or being counted from that standpoint, but to be able to show what a veteran can do. Exactly. Sometimes you're the only veteran that people are going to see. So they're going to make a assumption off of what you do, and sometimes they don't know that they're working next to a veteran. So you're going through and you're blazing it, knocking out all of these awards and things like that, and they're a great employee, and that's true. You're a great employee, but you're also a veteran. And what that does is open doors for others. So being able to self-identify is a key aspect. It's a way for others to get beyond that free 99 that you're talking about. Because when they see that, hey, veterans are coming in and we're hiring these veterans, we're meeting those OFCCP markers and some of those other benchmarks that are so important for additional funds to come in, they put more funds into things, which leads to better compensation for veterans. It leads to better support within the enterprise or the company, and overall it leads to retention and more support. So that's why I always encourage a veteran to show your colors, to say, hey, I'm about this, but also we have that competition amongst one another. And I always want to bring in more Air Force veterans, but I'm happy to see any of the other veterans go.
David, I'm glad you mentioned that. One of the things that I've noticed with working with veterans in employment is that veterans still believe that there's a stigma attached
yes,
to them being veterans.
Yes.
And it's hard to talk to them about their skills, their assets, their abilities when they're trying to overcome the bias, if you will, or stigma. But when it comes to diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging, as Lakeisha has mentioned, there's also a component dealing with access.
Yes.
What is our entry point? What is our pathway? How do we access organizations that champion veteran causes, specifically when it comes to employment?
Yes.
And that's a heavy burden. For a veteran to come through the door to ask for help.
Right.
And then consider that person is going to actually genuinely say, hey, this is what you need to do, this is how you need to do it, and allow them to bring those protective barriers down for them to be able to see the candidate.
Absolutely. And when it comes to education, I think education is across the board. Yeah, we want to, educate internally, but externally as well, because some are just starting their military hiring initiative. There's companies out there that really want to know, where do I start? And that's where the Heroes Foundation and others come in to be able to say, hey, this is how you do it. So as I said, as others have said, you want to take that first step, and sometimes you may not know where to take that first step, but it starts with reaching out. It starts with being mentored by other companies that are doing it and sharing those best practices across the board. So I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to be able to know that there are people out here that really do have a genuine heart to hire veterans, but they also want to see quality veterans coming out. So that job is not going to come to you. You got to come to the Red, White, and U and get out here and say, hey, I'm interested in this. This is what I bring to the table, and know that a disability doesn't mean an inability.
There you go.
That's great.
Amazing.
Disabled doesn't mean unable. So get out there and understand that you bring something to the table. Yeah, the pandemic has slowed some things, but employment is at a good pace now. So we want you to come out and be able to provide for your families, and also to be able to talk to us. Each one of us are approachable. We're able to be here and answer questions that you may have, but most of all, we want to say thank you. And the best way you can say thank you to someone for their service is by opening the door and letting them be able to provide for their family.
Right.
And always remember, when you get a veteran, you got something. Because one thing about veterans, when they first enter the military, they raise their hand. They have to be sworn in. Okay? That mindset sticks with that veteran for a lifetime. In other words, when they go to your company, employers, they're raising their hand and saying, we commit our bodies, we commit our lives to you. So always remember that. Veterans are very loyal, they're very committed, and they don't know how to quit. We didn't have no options. Once you were sworn in, if you left, they was coming to get you and bringing you back. So you can't quit on the military. So we're not quitters. We're gonna be with you forever.
Yeah.
So always remember that, employees.
Yeah.
Do you guys mind if I touch on one quick thing? And I know I'm going to be harping on what I have found in approaching staffing, recruiters, in events like Red, White, and You, and other hiring events, is that the recruiter does not seem to understand the concept of diversity, equity, inclusion, or veteran initiatives. They look at you like that deer in the headlight. Well, what is he talking about?
Right.
Yeah, we hire veterans, but there doesn't seem to have a standard operating procedure, if you will, or an approach, or even conversation as it relates to what I might be trying to do.
Right.
When we're dealing with veterans with disabilities, regardless whether they're visible or visible disabilities. How are you guys, both Past Champions and Wells Fargo, how are you impacting your boots on the ground, if you will, staffing teams to be able to understand, what our organizations might be talking about when it comes to second chance or DEI in terms
Sure,
of recruiting?
I will definitely take it away. All right, so at Crash Champions, I'm very proud to say that we have recruiters on our team that have served. So that definitely helps us out. We've created training for our general managers as well as our recruiting team on even how to understand or read what a resume is from someone that has served. So we've taken that into consideration. The other piece is just making sure that we kind of use the buddy system, so to speak. So if we have a recruiter that's going out that maybe not as experienced at a military event, we'll send someone that has that experience with them. So that way they're also kind of getting on-the-job training as well to be able to go forth and do this on their own. Because we support a lot of events national. So I would definitely say the mentoring piece within the recruiters, educating the recruiters and the general managers or operations teams, depending on the organization that you're working with. And then most importantly, making sure that communication is coming from the top. And I think that's what I love about Crash Champions is that our COO served. He's a Navy SEAL. So we got it right at the head of
So it's embedded in the culture.
It's embedded in the culture.
Yeah,
You got it. Absolutely, absolutely. So so that does help having leadership at that level to be able to also stress the importance of why we hire veterans and what we need to do to get them in the door.
Yeah, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think it starts with that champion. You want to have people that open the door and say, I believe in this to the point that I'm going to put some support behind it. I think that's essential because it's nothing worse than having the people at the grassroots level, hey, this is a great initiative, but others not see the value that are decision makers. So I think that's one piece of it, but also we talked about education across the board, and that comes with conversations. What I love about Wells Fargo is that we have an email address, not just for outside veterans or spouses that are applying, but for internally, military recruiting at wellsfargo.com. Everybody knows about that site. They can go and email, hey, I'm a recruiter and I don't have that exposure to military, so I want to know more about it. Is there someone that can help me, that can mentor? And we have a team of recruiters that have lived on planet military. They're bilingual. They speak civilianese and militaryese, so they can go out and they can say, okay, here's a way to do it. We can take that requisition for you and staff it, or we can also educate you on how to continue to do that. But it starts with those conversations. The other thing that I want to talk about is with the veteran. Number one thing we want to do is make sure that they're prepared, because I have been to career events where veterans come up and say, what are you hiring for? And it's like, okay, yeah, that's cool. I can tell you this, but I want you to show me that you value my time, and that you value your time. So do your homework first. I'm not going to go up and say, hey, what are you hiring for? I already know, because now I'm showing you that I'm interested in your company, that you're special to me. And when I come up, I'm going to have done my homework. I'm going to see what roles fit me or what I think fits me. Now it's going to set me apart from my competition, because there's hundreds of people that are going to come to a job fair and ask, what are you hiring for? But there's going to be few that are as prepared as you are. So that's why we want to encourage that. We want you to really utilize the time and to follow up. I think follow up is so essential in things. It's kind of like putting a hook on a worm on a hook and just throwing it in the water without a fishing line. Nobody would ever do that. You want to have that reel to be able, and that string to be able to reel it in, and that's what your follow up does. I think follow up is so essential, but following up with the right people, and that's why the Heroes Foundation, being able to reach out to the resources that are here to say, hey, I've applied, this is what I've done my part, now I'm just asking you to do your part. I'm not asking you to do something for me that I'm not willing to do myself.
And that's a great point, because that's why I started this, the Heroes Foundation, I would say about 6-7 years ago. I attended a hiring event where a veteran had to make a choice between the $20 to get there on gas and not. So he only had $20, that for however long, another 2 weeks, but he needed a job. And it broke my heart, because I know most companies aren't ready. When they come to a hiring event, they accept a resume, the resume goes in a pile, they're lucky, or a company will say, here's our website, go to our website, our career page. So for a veteran to get in full, suit tie, get ready, resumes in hand, they're ready to talk to a company. They go there, and companies sometimes, like 93% are civilians. Only 7% have served. So the majority of us don't really get it. So can you talk to us just a little bit, both of y'all, about how you prepare for a career event, how you provide ROI for that veteran that is going to the extra mile to make sure he's prepared, ready, but from the company side, making sure that what else can they do, what have you done to your teams to educate them or train them this way, when they come in, at least they're speaking to a job, at least they're speaking, they may not get an interview, but at least they're a better track.
Sure, as a part of our DE&I initiative, especially with our recruiting team, is to make sure that we're treating everyone equally, whether you're a civilian or veteran. But obviously, because we have a special focus on veterans, part of what we do is to do, I call it career fair etiquette.
Yes, thank you.
We train our recruiters, okay?
I'm still in it.
Career fair etiquette. One candidate at a time. That's what we call it. We want everyone to feel like they are a VIP.
Yes.
Very important person
I love it.
as they come up to our table when we are presenting opportunities from Crash Champions. So part of what we do on the back end is that we communicate with the hiring managers and the operations or leadership team. Hey, we're going to be at the Red, White, and U event in Dallas. We are looking at veterans for opportunities in these areas. So we want to give you a heads up that we will be sending resumes, etc., your way, right? So we kind of prep them ahead of time, so it's not like they just find out and it's like, well, what is this? On the recruiting side, as I mentioned, we do our career fair etiquette, ensuring that they understand that VIP service is real, because not only are we wanting to hire people, these folks have a choice. They can choose to come to Crash, or they can choose to go to a competitor. So for us, we have a dedicated recruiter that manages all of that. So their resumes don't go into a black hole. These folks get contacted, absolutely. We have a website where they can go specifically there and look at what opportunities, how it translates from the military service to what opportunities we have at Crash. So those are some of the things that we have done to prepare not only our recruiting team and leadership team, but to also ensure that our veterans, when they do approach us, that they feel welcomed and invited to the party, as we like to say.
Yeah, and with us at Wells Fargo, I think we try to do those things as well. We want to answer the question, what's available, and to be able to talk about the thousands of jobs that Wells Fargo does have, but also to specific things. So the first step with us is to make sure that our recruiters, the ones that we do have at military-specific events, that they've been part of Planet Military. So if we can get a veteran to go out there to team with someone that may not have been in, as Chris talked about, the other 93%, we want to make sure that they're exposed to it first, and not just throwing them out there in the water and saying, okay, well, go talk to these veterans. Well, I've never talked to a veteran. Okay, well, let us show you how to do it first. That's going to be the first piece of it. The second thing that we want to do is make it easy for everybody that's involved, because when you have a lot of people talking to you and a little bit of time, it's very, very hard. So we have QR codes that can take them to get them registered into our talent community, because at the end of the day, what we want to do is a warm handoff to a person.
Yes.
We don't want you to go into a black hole. We want you to get a warm handoff to a person that speaks militaryese, as I talked about, and to be able to help you, because sometimes we apply to roles and there are 3 great candidates but only 1 role. Well, those 2 other people are a great fit for Wells Fargo. So even if you apply and you don't get that first opportunity that you apply for, we want to make sure that you're working with someone that's going to make sure that if you fit our culture, that you find a home upon the stage, Coach. And I think that's essential in everything that we do. So be determined, I'm going to say that, but also understand as recruiters that there are other resources, there are even other companies that are willing to help you, and just watch a little bit. Hey, ask those right questions. And one of the things I think you'll find within those that are out in the veteran community is that we support one another. We share those best practices. So if you're a recruiter that doesn't know what that first step is, Heroes Foundation, reach out to Chris, LaToya, others that are out here, and we're happy to help you and share that across the board.
And so one of the things we do at the City of Dallas, and we actually created a PowerPoint presentation that we actually do Zoom meetings and team meetings with different companies and entities. I created a document called How to Apply. And within that document, it actually gives that person an opportunity to learn what they actually need to do before they apply. Because a lot of times people don't have a clue. They go to job fairs and this and that. They say, well, you know, unless it's a hiring event, they're going to tell them to go to the website and apply. Right. But as simple as it sounds, it can be really difficult for an individual to know exactly what they need to do when they're applied. So we make sure we clarify that. All of our recruiters have been trained on it. We train our departments for promotional purposes. People want to promote within the company. We teach them how to apply. And people just don't understand. They think they can just do a little quick, short application and be done, and wonder why they never get a call back. But you have to take time to read. So I've done this read method. You have to read that application, that job posting first. Make sure that you know what those minimum qualifications are. Then you have to speak that verbiage. First of all, you got to be honest with yourself and ask yourself, do I really qualify for this position?
Yes.
If I don't, I shouldn't even waste my time or that recruiter's time or that company's time. And